Right, so we've got the glow plugs out now. Spark plugs, I think so, glow plugs. And this is a Hydra 117-21080, which you can get on the internet and from some motor factors, but I was struggling to get one. So I rang a company to see if I could get some from them. It's called the Spark Plug Company, a guy called Mike. Really lovely guy, very helpful. And he helped me come up with a replacement. He basically had a comparison kind of like sheet data, and he worked out that this Beru G9 984 would be just as good. It's less voltage, which is good because this is 13.5, this is only 12, so it's less on the out alternator, which I think is better. It's the same length as you can see, so we're going to get the same length of probe in there, same sort of like thread and everything's the same. The only thing is a little bit different at the top of here. Now, if you can't get these, there is other equivalents out there. If you put in GN 984 in the internet, you'll come up with loads of different ones that will do the job. There is other ones that you can get from Motor Factors easier. There's a GN 857, but it's shorter. It's about that much shorter. So yes, it will do the job, but probably not as well. So I opted for the Beru. Can't see it. Oh, it's there. There you go, GN 984. Okay, and as you can see, newtons, you know, is not a lot. Okay, great. Okay, so I put them in, as you can see, pop them back in. Done these up to like 4-finger tight, so about 10 newtons, and I've done these to like little pinky kind of tight, really. So we're talking not a huge amount of force on these guys, otherwise you'll strip the threads and struggle to get them back out again in the future. Alright, and then I then put the plug back up, connected the plug back in, and then slid that back onto the subframe. Okay, all that's next to do now is to bleed the system, so I'll have to go top side. Right, you are. So I've taken the coolant from the bowl, and I've put it using the funnel. It's always handy to have a funnel into the back into the expansion tank. I've only gone for minimum, but I would suggest that you go for maximum. I need to go and get some more, yeah, go for maximum would be the best idea. Okay, then what we need to do then is we need to bleed the system. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to remove the air filter that was in here. Okay. Hopefully it's quite easy to do. If you've got these bellow things down here, they are a bit of a pain, but all you've got to do is kind of get a screwdriver in underneath and kind of prise it slightly and then wiggle them around, and they do come off, but they are a bit of a pain. Then remove these two here. Right, I'm going to leave this one on, okay, because all I'm going to do is I'm just going to lift it up gently and just put it to one side. Okay, just over there. And what we're going to get left then is you're going to find a bracket here. I've already taken it off. You need 10 mil sockets to release these, and then take a bracket, move it to one side, and then that reveals our water pump here, and this is what we're after. And that, I'm going to zoom in on it, is what we're definitely after. That is our bleed screw there, and as you can see, it's got a slot in it for a screwdriver, so it doesn't need to be hugely tight, and we've got a 12 mil bolt across there. You need to just undo that to the right, to this side, so take it that way, and you'll hear some hissing, and you'll hear maybe air coming out, and then you'll have liquid start to come out. When you get liquid coming out, you just nip it back up again, and that's it. That's the system bled as far as I can work out. Okay, you probably will have a little bit of drop in the expansion tank, so again you need to then definitely check to make sure that that's topped up to max, which is roughly the top here. Okay. What I will say as well is, if you've got any spillages, just wash it off with some clean water afterwards. Otherwise, that would just stay on there and stain, and you don't really want that to be doing that. Yeah, if you want your car looking nice. Okay. Then so you leave that off for the time being, like the bracket, because what we're going to do now is we're going to put the cap back into the oops. Put the cap back in. back in. These are always a bit of a pain to get back in, aren't they? And then screw it back down. So what we're going to do is we're going to run up the engine, get nice and warm, and hopefully, fingers crossed, the glow plugs will activate and we'll be cooking on gas. I've already checked that the glow plugs are working okay. I did it by using the multimeter here, but I also used the power lead, the way that I did it before, with the jump lead. And as soon as I touched to it, A, I got the spark, and B, they instantly started to heat up and get nice and hot. So that's all good. Okay, speak to you in a bit. Right, so before we run it up, so you can put your bracket back on, or you can leave it off if you want to just make sure there's no leaks and stuff afterwards. So there shouldn't be anything if you nipped it up tight enough. Alright, then you need to connect your two ones, connectors we've taken off there. Alright, and then pop your housing back in place. Okay. If yours is like mine, then it's probably broken, so they just slide over the top anyway and they don't actually clip back in. I don't think hardly any of them do. But don't forget, really important, if you've got the vacuum one, to put your pipe in back here, alright, because otherwise you won't get your turbo working or your EGR valve, and you'll wonder why you've got no power. You're like, oh, what have I done? I've got no power. And it's like, no, you just forgot to put in your vacuum pipe, which then drives the solenoids, which then creates the vacuum to then open up and let the turbo do its job, and the actuator and the EGR valve. Okay. Right, so then you want to start it and let it tick over for a little while, let it get a little bit settled in, and then you want to raise the revs up to 2,000 revs, I'd say, and just hold at 2,000 revs until the temperature starts coming up, and it will start to rise and rise and rise and rise and rise, and then hopefully it will come up quicker than it did before. And then go underneath, make sure you've got any leaks, and if you've got no leaks, then that's great. Hopefully you won't have any leaks, so you shouldn't have any leaks. If you have, then obviously you have to address those. Might be a case of just nipping up the glow plugs a little bit tighter, but I think you'd be okay. And then, yeah, if you're happy that you've got no leaks, then what we need to do is then jack the car back up, take out your axle stand, remove all your tools, and lower your car down to the floor. And then just take it for a test drive, and then hopefully while you take it for a test drive it will start behaving and the gauge will come up. Okay, I hope this has been helpful and useful to people, and I hope it helps people as well resolve the ongoing issue that plagues the internet. Why does my temperature gauge only stay down in the blue, or no more than quarter? If you like what I've told you and you're happy with everything, then please subscribe to my channel, as I will then start to do more videos and put more descriptions in to help people as and when I do different cars. Okay, thank you very much. Take care now.